Happy Maryland Day. Welcome to the Environment Transportation Committee. We will start with a couple of folks that I know are already here and been waiting, friends. Let's start with SB 238, Department of Housing and Community Development, Maryland Housing Rehabilitation Program, Local Rehabilitation Program Administration.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This will be nice and easy. You passed the other side of this bill, HB 127, and you didn't amend it at all, so we would ask that you would do the same with SB 238. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Happy Maryland Day. Thank you so much. Let's call on SB 236, Maryland Department of Planning, Modernization. Hello, Secretary.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all. We're going to try to keep this short and simple also, but be here for questions. So good afternoon, Vice Chair Boyce. Good to see you and everyone with you, and members of the Environment and Transportation. For the record, Rebecca Flores, Secretary, Maryland Department of Planning, joined by Chuck Boyd, our Assistant Secretary over here on that side of Planning Services, and Andrew Wilson, our Government Affairs Specialist. They'll address any questions that you may have. I want to recognize. Is that better? Okay, sorry. I want to recognize there is an addition to the House version of the bill, which we support. This addition would expand the sources of information we can pull from when creating population projections for the Baltimore metropolitan and Washington metropolitan areas. We support this addition and respectfully request the Senate version of the bill be aligned with the House version. And we are here to answer any questions rather than reading my entire testimony, which you may have heard in the past. I am here to answer questions along with my team.
Looks like we have a question from Delegate Terrassa.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. Really quickly, expand it to what? I just don't have it up yet in front of me.
Okay.
What are the other sources?
I'm sorry, say again.
You said it expands the sources of information.
Originally we only had one of the districts included in the original, and it was brought to our attention, thank you all, that we needed to include both the metropolitan Baltimore and Washington. That's
thank
all.
you, sir.
Very simple. Thank you for that
so much.
clarification.
Are there any other questions? Thank you so much. Seeing none, that ends the bill hearing for SB 236. Go ahead to SB 245.
Okay, this one actually passed clean out of the House and the Senate, and so we support Senate Bill 245 as is.
Seeing no questions, that ends the bill hearing for SB 245, and I believe you have one more, SB 266. Local comprehension planning?
We do. And let me just kind of give you the quick overview on that one. Basically, I wanted to recognize there is an addition in the House version of this bill, which we do support. Really grateful for working together on that. And this addition adds language to the end of the ecology principle, which is one of 8 principles that we're advancing through this amendment. And it surrounds the conservation of natural resources, specifically forests, agriculture areas, and waterways. This is a result of a lot of discussions that we had, and we're happy to support that. We support this addition and respectively request the Senate version of the bill be aligned with the House version. Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for the secretary? Okay, seeing none, that ends the bill hearing for SB 266. We will move now to the top.
Thank you all.
You're quite welcome. Have a great Maryland Day. Going back to the top of the list, calling up our past member, SB 962, Senator Mounts, Municipalities Legislative Audit Exemptions. Begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's great to be with you. Can I bring up Justin Fiore with MML as my panel? Okay, very quickly, colleagues, it's an honor to be here today to present Senate Bill 962. We worked on this legislation with the Department of Legislative Services. It deals with a very small group of municipalities. What it would do, it would exempt them from the legislative audit. These municipalities would still be required to submit requisite financial information. So they're still submitting financial information to the Department of Legislative Services. They just would not be required to get a certified legislative audit unless it were requested by the Joint Audit Committee. And the cutoff threshold is if their revenue is $100,000 or less in the previous year. And I'm not sure if my testimony, if this made it, but we have a spreadsheet that was provided by MML. Currently, there are only 12 municipalities that would qualify for this exemption. Yes, I'm guilty. A lot of those municipalities on the Eastern Shore, but there are a couple on the Western Shore also. The bill was approved unanimously by Budget and Tax and by the Senate, by the full Senate. And I hope you give this legislation a favorable report, and I'll turn the microphone over to our expert witness, Justin Fiore with the Maryland Municipal League. Justin?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Justin Fiore here on behalf of the Maryland Municipal League in support of Senate Bill 962. This does impact, as the Senator said, and thank you for bringing the bill, about 15 of our smallest members. There are kind of 2 reasons why this bill is before you now. It's largely due to audit cost increases. Part of that is just supply and demand. There are fewer big auditing firms that want to take on municipal clients, so that's driving up the price. And then audit complexity has also increased due to regulation requirements over the years. So we're seeing thousands of dollar increases on small municipalities. And if you just kind of consider the economies of scale and the impact of this, $4,000 over a population of 40,000, that's about 10 cents per resident. A $4,000 increase to a municipality with a population of 100, you're looking at $400 per person. So that's kind of the impact folks are seeing back home. And why we're here looking for a solution for these small charities.
Thank you so much. Any questions for the senator or his witness? Okay. Seeing none, that ends the bill hearing for SB 962. Now SB 797, Dorchester County, county property leases, notice exemptions, and sponsor only.
Thank you, Madam Chair and colleagues. It's an honor today to be able to present Senate Bill 797. This legislation was requested by Dorchester County. It's endorsed by the Dorchester County delegation. Currently, when the county is leasing property, it's required to advertise that lease for a 3-week period. This legislation would give the county an exemption, and it would allow it to lease property for 5 years or less without doing that 3-week notice. This has been discussed at the county for a number of years now. There is a broad desire to have this ability. The county is facing huge deficits right now, and we don't expect that to improve after this budgeting season. Even though this would not put a drop in the bucket compared to the problems that they're trying to deal with, it would ease their operations. They don't have a lot of staff. They're limited, and they found it to be difficult to do the advertising and be able to lease the properties. And that's, this has come up in the past, and we're bringing it again this year.
Thank you so much, Senator. We have a question from Delegate Foley.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senator, for bringing the bill. My question is, so these leases of, 5 years or less, is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay, so they would not be noticed at all? Like,
Correct.
okay, so they would just be done?
Well, no, they would not be noticed in the newspaper. They would be posted online. They would not be required to do the newspaper advertising. They would still do the online advertising.
Okay, online where? County website or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't see that in the bill, but maybe I'm missing it. Anyway, okay, thank you.
And to speed things along, I will verify exactly where that would be posted and get it to you in your office.
Okay, I just didn't see that in the bill, and it made it sound like they wouldn't be posted at all. So,
Okay.
yeah, okay, thanks.
I'll clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, and can you also get that to the subcommittee chair as well?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Are there any other questions for Senator Mounts? Okay. Seeing none, that ends the bill hearing for SB 797. I'm going to go down to SB 606, Senator West, Residential Property Tenants' Rights of First Refusal. Welcome. Happy Maryland Day, Senator. You may begin.
Thank you, and a happy Maryland Day to you. I wish I'd worn more Maryland-appropriate garb, but I don't have much of it. It's a pleasure to be here to present Senate Bill 606. This bill was passed unanimously on the floor of the Senate. It's identical to House Bill 872, which was passed by this committee with a substantial bipartisan majority, and again on the House floor with a substantial bipartisan majority. If you'd like, I can explain the bill, or I'd be happy to answer questions about it. But you've already heard it previously.
Sure. If that's your testimony, we're happy to take it. Answer if there are any questions.
If anyone has any questions, I think I can answer them. I'll just add one thing, that it fixes this tiny little glitch in the governor's bill last year dealing with housing. It's something nobody focused on until the title insurance community came back this past summer and said unless the glitch was fixed, they would not be able to issue title insurance to insure the properties of people who bought properties that had previously been leased. So in order to fix that little glitch, we're changing one word in the statute to 2 words, and that fixes the problem.
Any questions for the senator? Thank you so much, Senator. Seeing none, that ends the bill hearing for SB 606. I'm going to go back to the top of the list. And is there someone here for Senator Smith? Okay. Okay, that's great. Let's go to SB 50, Senator Seminaire, Local Government, Annapolis and Anne Arundel County Conference and Visitor Bureau designation. You may begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Vice Chair and members of the Environment and Transportation Committee. I am Verna Leber, presenting for Senator Brian Simonaire, who's testifying in another committee. Senate Bill 50 is a local Anne Arundel County bill and is identical to House Bill 469, which you all heard and passed out of this committee. Thank you for your time, and I ask you for a favorable consideration.
Any questions for a bill that already passed in our committee? Seeing none, thank you so much. That ends the bill hearing for SB 50.
Thank you.
Calling now, looks like SB 175, Senator Lewis, Young, and Brooks, Public Safety, Fuel Gas Piping Systems, and Corrugated Stainless Steel Tubing Prohibitions and Study.
Good evening, Madam Chair. My name's Andrew. I'm Chief of Staff for Senator Karen Lewis Young. It's my pleasure to be here this evening. I'm here to present on SB 175. This is the cross-file of HB 222, which in this committee, in its wisdom, passed unanimously and was sponsored by the Speaker Pro Tem. There are 2 key differences between the Senate bill and the House bill. They are opposition amendments, and the Senator strongly supports the House version of the bill and asks this committee to conform it with HB 222.
Thank you so much. Can you explain this minor difference to the committee?
Yes, the first is the use of non-conductive as a term versus non-arc resistant. We did some research. We do not believe that non-conductive will actually accomplish the intent of the bill, and that is to restrict the sale of CSST corrugated stainless steel tubing. And it does not appear in state statute. Non-arc resistant does appear in state statute currently. And we would like to keep that terminology the same until the work group that would be established by this bill is able to make recommendations to the General Assembly. And the second is the second difference is who would chair the work group. The Senate decided that the Department of Labor should chair the work group in consultation with State Fire Marshal and the State Fire Prevention Commission. This committee, in its wisdom, passed the clean version of the bill that has the State Fire Prevention Commission chairing the work group in consultation with the Department of Labor.
Thank you so much. Seeing no questions from the committee, that ends the bill hearing for SB 175. I'm going to go to my next quick list here for, SB 717, representative for Senator Carrozza, Somerset County salaries of local officials increase. Welcome to the committee. Happy Maryland Day. You can start when you're ready.
Thank you, Vice Chair Boyce, and members of the distinguished House Environment and Transportation Committee for this opportunity to represent Senator Mary Beth Carrozza and to present Senate Bill 717. For the record, my name is Molly O'Hara, and I am Senator Carrozza's Legislative and Office Director. She asked for your understanding due to committee voting. Senate Bill 717 unanimously passed the Senate, and the cross-file House Bill 844, sponsored by Delegate Charles Otto, unanimously passed the House. The Somerset County delegation supports this legislation. This local bill would increase and provide updated salaries of Somerset County local officials. For reference, salaries were last increased in 2022 after passage of Senate Bill 439 and House Bill 382. I thank you for your kind attention and consideration, and I respectfully request a favorable report.
Thank you so much. I do not see any questions, so that ends the bill hearing for SB 717. Now going to SB 718, Somerset County Code of Public Local Laws 2025 edition legalization.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vice Chair Boyce and members of the distinguished House Environment and Transportation Committee. Once again, for the record, my name is Molly O'Hara, and I am Senator Carrozza's Legislative and Office Director. Again, she asked for your understanding due to committee voting. And I am here to present Senate Bill 718. Senate Bill 718 unanimously passed the Senate, and the cross-file House Bill 967, sponsored by Delegate Otto, passed the House. Also, the Somerset County delegation supports this legislation. This legislation would allow for the legalization of the 2025 edition of the Somerset County Code of Public Laws. This is a simple bookkeeping matter to legalize the actions that Somerset County has taken since the last printing of the revision in 2016. SB 718 was requested and is supported by the Somerset County Commission. And I thank you again for your kind attention and consideration and ask for a favorable report.
Thank you so much. We'll send our hellos to Senator Carrozza. Seeing no questions, that ends the bill hearing for SB 718. I'm going now to SB 896. There's a representative here for Senator Love, Real Property, Residential Rental Property, Pet Policy Disclosure, Pet Policy Transparency Act. Hello.
Hello.
Good to see you. You can start when you're ready. Happy Maryland.
Good to see you too. Okay. Well, good evening, Vice Chair Boyce, members of the committee that Senator Love and her staff think is the best committee in the Maryland General Assembly. Yay. I am, for the record, Gretchen Zekiel. I am Senator Love's Chief of Staff, and I am here to present SB 896, the Pet Policy Transparency Act, on behalf of the sponsor. So I just want to start out by saying thanks to all of you for working so hard on this bill that is going to help to keep pets and their owners together in rental housing. I do have some great news, which is just a few minutes ago, the House version of this bill, which is sponsored by your own Delegate Stein and is HB 1152, just passed JPR with the conforming amendments that we agreed to this morning. And these conforming amendments basically are going to take the burden off of the smaller rental property folks. So basically, for that reason, I am going to ask you all for a favorable report on SB 896 with the conforming amendments.
Any questions for my constituent? Okay, that concludes the bill hearing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep,
Chair
good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I think we have Senator Charles next for SB 525. Prince George's County Illegal Dumping and Litter Control Law, Video Evidence and Reward Programs.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and to the honorable members of the Environment and Transportation Committee. For the record, I am Senator Nick Charles. You guys haven't had the opportunity to hear this bill because it got stuck in rules on the House side, but we passed this bill out unanimously in the House. This bill allows for Prince George's County to establish a pilot program that lets residents submit video evidence of illegal dumping or littering violations, and those who submit the video evidence that leads to a conviction will receive half of the fines collected. Littering as a persistent issue, littering and illegal dumping negatively impacts the environment, public health, and local economies. The 2020 Keep America Beautiful study found nearly 50 billion pieces of litter along U.S. roadways. 90% of U.S. residents agree that litter is a problem in their communities. This litter harms property values, it harms tourism, it harms local businesses and the quality of life. MDOT is in full support of this bill and has noted in fiscal year 2022, the administration spent $11.6 million on litter removal. $11.6 million, resulting in over 6,500 truckloads of waste removed. In fiscal year 2023, litter expenditures increased to $15 million, resulting in over 9,000 truckloads being removed, or 364,077 large bags of trash. Volumes of litter accumulation far outpaces SHA's feasible cleanup frequencies, so additional measures to stop littering at the source are welcomed by the administration. The law enforcement in Prince George's County is facing significant staffing shortages also, which makes it very difficult to address these littering violations. Officers are stretched thin, dealing with more urgent issues like gun violence and violent crimes, so we need innovative solutions to address this illegal dumping and the littering. SB 525 empowers residents to become active participants in cleaning up their communities. I host a monthly meeting with MDOT and DPWT on Zoom, and we constantly met with the question, how can we address this? How can we fix this issue? So by encouraging residents to submit video evidence of violation, this bill fosters a collaborative environment between law enforcement and the community. This approach can also generate significant revenue for the state. The bill offers a financial incentive. Half of the fines being collected from a conviction will go to the person who submitted the video evidence, and this creates a direct financial motivation for the public to assist in reporting violations, increasing the likelihood of enforcement and convictions. Similar programs in Prince George's County, such as the Crime Solvers and the Legal Gun Rewards program, already demonstrate how financial incentives can drive community involvement in law enforcement. These programs have been successful in solving crimes and making communities safer. So this bill, it builds on the success by applying the same principles to the issue of littering and illegal dumping. By passing 525, we take a critical step toward reducing litter in Prince George's County, and this bill enables residents to help clean up their communities, improve law enforcement efforts, and ensures that fines collected from violations support future cleanup. I urge the committee to pass this bill, creating a cleaner, safer, and more engaged community.
Thank you, Senator. I know you were a dogged warrior on this back when you were in the House, so.
Yes, sir.
Any questions for the bill sponsor? Okay, I think we have another bill of yours as well, SB 540, Common Ownership Communities, Recreational Common Area, Sensitive Information as Condition for Access.
All I should have to be able to say about this bill is this is Delegate Linda Foley's bill as well, and it's already passed. But in short, I'll go on the record to let you know that I am Senator Nick Charles here in support of Senate Bill 540, the Common Ownership Communities Recreational Common Area Sensitive Information as condition for access. This bill just recently passed JPR before I came over here to the House earlier. So it's done. It's going to the floor tomorrow, and we should be able to have this bill completely done. But you guys passed this out with flying colors already.
Great, thank you. I think there was one difference. Delegate Foley, go ahead.
I was going to ask about that, Mr. Chair. Thank you. Yeah, so there's one difference. This committee added sensitive medical information to the list of sensitive information.
I believe we added that amendment, but if we haven't, I'll make sure it's added before it gets to the floor.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I think the question is, it doesn't sound like it's in the Senate version. The question is, what did you do with the House version? Did you conform it to the Senate, or did you leave it in? So we can work that out, though.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Great. Thank you, Senator. Great to see you. I do not see any other questions. So we will turn to Spencer Dixon on behalf of Senator Guile. We'll start with SB 102, Insurance Pooling Public Entity Definition.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Spencer Dixon, Legislative Director for Senator Guile, here to present SB 102 on her behalf. SB 102 clarifies language in the code that would explicitly allow resilience authorities to established by counties and municipalities to enter into insurance pooling. Per the fiscal note, SB 102 would not directly affect state government operations or finances. The bill is a cross-file of HB 100, sponsored by Delegate Bagnall, and this committee reported that bill favorably, and the full House passed it unanimously. The third reader of SB 102 is in the exact same posture as the third reader of HB 100. For these reasons, I respectfully request a favorable report on SB 102.
Thank you very much. Any questions on SB 102? Okay, I think you're also presenting SB 572 on behalf of the Anne Arundel County Delegation, Development Impact Fees.
That's right. Thank you. Again, Spencer Dixon, this time on behalf of the Anne Arundel County Senate Delegation, here to present SB 572. This bill would provide greater flexibility to the existing enabling statute pertaining to impact fee exemptions. Per the fiscal note, SB 572 would not directly affect state operations or finances, and the bill is a cross-file of HB 453, sponsored by Delegate Pruski. This committee reported HB 453 favorably, and the full House passed it overwhelmingly. The third reader of SB 572 is in the exact same posture as the third reader of HB 453, and the committee should already have the Senate delegation's letter of support on file. For these reasons, I respectfully request a favorable report on SB 572.
Thank you. Any questions on SB 572? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I saw our old committee mate, Senator Folden, walk in. SB 626, Frederick County Senator, Sheriff Salary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Holy moly. Did y'all have us over in the chamber today? This thing's seen better days. You guys are breaking stuff up, though. What in the heck's happening? All right. All right. Sorry. Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, good to see everybody. Good to be back in ENT. For the record, William Folden, State Senator, representing District 4. The bill before you today, SB 626, dealing with the Frederick County Sheriff's salary. In short, this bill would move the Sheriff of Frederick County. The position has not had an increase in, this is now the 19th year that the Sheriff of Frederick County has been at the same salary rate. At no time has there been any, there was a couple years ago an ask to increase the salary. And what we've done is brought this through a think tank and through a delegation work group, came to the conclusion of the salary at 82.5% of the state's attorney's salary for Frederick County. and consistent with that on out years. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions. I would ask for your favorable report, and I believe you have a delegation letter in support of this measure as well, Mr. Chairman.
We do. All right. Any questions for bill sponsor? All right. Thanks, Senator. Glad to see your arm is better.
It's getting there. Thank you, sir.
Good. We will jump to Chair Smith, SB 927, Co-ops and Associations, Cooperative Limited Equity Housing Co-ops Establishment.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, long time no see.
Second Trevor, long time no see. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, Senator Smith here to enter into the record Senate Bill 927. Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, distinguished members of the committee. You had this hearing, I think, late in session. And so essentially you know what the bill does, but I'll tell you what we've done in terms of the amendments in order to address the fiscal concerns, which if you read the most recent iteration of the fiscal note, there still are some concerns. It looks like it'll cost $278,000, which I know is above the limit for allocation, especially during these austere times. And I appreciate the hard work you all did on the budget this afternoon. So God bless and thank you for that. But essentially what the amended bill does is it changes the requirement for SDAT to hold on to those records of incorporation and operation. And so that takes away a little bit of that administrative burden. It also, and the two primary drivers of the cost were the tax abatement that were in the bill, which is on page 13, and then the tax credit. So with those, that brought the fiscal note down considerably. It obviously is still in a posture that I think you all have to consider given the fiscal concerns. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I would ask the committee for a favorable committee report understanding the concerns. And with that, I'll stand for questions.
Great, thank you. Any questions for the chair? Should we talk about the Idaho stop bill again?
Hey, you know what? We made significant progress on that today. Madam Vice Chair, we will vote that bill out tomorrow. One of our members wanted to get a little deeper dive into that NHTSA study. That NHTSA study did, I think, assuage some of her concerns, and I think the unreadiness has been addressed. And so, look for that. Delegate Guyton, I'm looking at you too. We're working hard on your bills.
We appreciate it. All right, we'll let you get out of here without answering other questions. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe we have representative from Senator Mew's office for SB 63, co-ops, funding reserve accounts, and preparation of funding plans.
Good afternoon, Chairman Corman, Madam Vice Chair Boyce, and members of the committee. For the record, I am Africa Gentle, legislative intern on behalf of Senator Anthony Muse, representing the 26th District of Prince George's County. Senate Bill 63 is the cross-file for Delegate Marvin Holmes' legislation, HB 292, which passed this committee. As amended, SB 63 was drafted to strengthen financial planning and long-term sustainability for cooperative housing corporations, residential condominiums, homeowners associations across Maryland. SB 63 builds upon existing reserve funding requirements to ensure these communities remain financially stable and structurally sound for years to come. SB 63 will enhance the funding and oversight of reserve accounts through timely deposits into reserve accounts, extended timeline for meeting reserve funding requirements, flexibility in financial hardship, professional oversight of reserve studies, annual review of reserve accounts, refined definition of reserve study, mandatory funding plans, clarification of competence, cost, and reserve study applications. By enacting SB 63 and HB 292, we take a necessary step towards ensuring the long-term financial health of Maryland's common interest communities. Well-funded reserve protects homeowners from sudden assessments, prevent deferred maintenance that can lead to structural hazards, and contribute to the overall stability of our housing market. I respectfully urge the committee to issue a favorable report on SB 63 as amended, or I yield to this committee to make any additional amendments to match House Bill 292. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions, or you have the expert right here on your committee, Delegate Holmes.
Thank you very much. Any questions on this bill? Okay, we'll move to SB 120. If you could just talk a little closer to the mic, or I'm having a little trouble hearing you.
No.
Oh, someone else is doing it? Okay, well, she can talk a little closer to the mic. SB 120, restrictions on use, solar collector systems alteration.
Good afternoon, Chairman Corman and Madam Vice Chair Boyce and members of the House Environment and Transportation Committee. For the record, I am Tequila Taylor, legislative aide here on behalf of Senator C. Anthony Muse, representing the 26th legislative districts of Prince George's County. Thank you for the opportunity to present SB 120, Restrictions on Use Solar Collector Systems Alteration. Senate Bill 120 is the identical cross-file to House Bill 4, which passed out of this committee and the House floor. SB 120 passed out of the Senate in the same posture as HB 4. Therefore, I ask for a favorable committee report on SB 120.
Any questions on SB 120? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is anyone here from Senator Watson's office? Oh, great. We will turn to Senate Bill 150, Real Property, Recordation of Land, Records Requirements.
Good afternoon, Chair Corman and Vice Chair Boyce, and members of the House Environment and Transportation Committee. For the record, I am Delnay Gray, Legislative Director for Senator Ron Watson, Legislative District 23, Prince George's County. Today, I am presenting SB 150. SB 150 is the exact cross-file for HB 347, sponsored by my personal delegate, Holmes, and one of the committee members here. SB 347 passed this committee as well as the entire House during this session, and Senator Watson has agreed to adopt any variations in the House bill version. So we totally agree with the House bill version and want to pass that solely. This bill has no fiscal impact and is supported by the entire industry, including Maryland Title Association, the Real Estate Bar, as well as the title underwriting companies. Given all of the support and the 24 clerks of the courts and the industry professionals, I ask that this committee give the favorable report for SB 150.
Thank you. Any questions about SB 150? Okay, can you also do SB 814, Local Government Development Impact Fees, Surcharges, and Excise Taxes Reporting?
Yes. Good afternoon, Chair Corman and Vice Chair Boyce, and members of the House Environment and Transportation Committee. For the record, I am Delnay Gray, Legislative Director for Senator Ron Watson, representing District 23, Prince George's County. Today, I am presenting SB 814, which is a cross-file for HB 698, sponsored by a member of this committee, Delegate Allen, and co-sponsored by 15 other House members. HB 698 was passed by this committee and the entire House during the session, so I'm here just to remind you that about the basics of the bill and the amendments that was added by the Senate. SB 814 is very simple. It requires the county governments to make a report by July the 1st of each year to the Maryland Department of Planning on the amount and the use of county development impact fees, surcharges, and excise taxes. Senator Watson has agreed to adopt the House Bill 698 with only 3 modifications that are included in the Senate bill. The first modification is to retain the Maryland Department of Planning reporting requirement in the Senate version instead of the House version, which reports to the governor and the MGA. The second is to keep Section B3 of the Senate version that added a requirement to report the address and the location of the development within the county where the impact fees, surcharges, and excise taxes were derived. Third modification is to keep the provision requested by MACO that a county shall submit information about not just the collection of the impact fees, but also include the expenditures of the development impact fees, surcharges, and excise taxes. This is common sense legislation that will help counties better track these fees and understand where the money is going and which would benefit everyone. SB 814 has no fiscal impact and is supported by the Maryland Association of Counties and the Maryland Building and Industry Association. And I also like to thank Vice Chair Boyce for her co-sponsorship of this bill and respectfully urge a favorable committee report.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on the bill? Okay, I believe we have a representative from Senator Jennings' office here, SB 872, Family Serve Act.
Good evening, Chairman Corman, Vice Chair Boyce, and members of the Environment and Transportation Committee. For the record, I'm Lauren Fowler on behalf of Senator J.B. Jennings, and I'm here to introduce Senate Bill 872, Local Government Hiring and Promotion Preferences for Veterans and Spouses of Service Members and Veterans, also known as the Family Serve Act. Senate Bill 872 unanimously passed the Senate and is an identical cross-file of House Bill 1433, which also passed unanimously in the House. During the 2024 legislative session, the Maryland General Assembly passed the Family Serve Act of 2024, which provided hiring and promotion preferences for spouses of eligible service members in both private and public sectors. Senate Bill 872 builds upon that work by allowing local or municipal governments to grant the same hiring and promotion preferences to qualified applicants, including veterans, spouses of veterans with a service-connected disability, spouses of service members, and surviving spouses of deceased veterans. Additionally, Senate Bill 872 allows localities and municipalities that use selection tests for hiring or promotion to grant a 10-point credit on those tests for the same qualified individuals. If passed, this bill may incentivize military spouses who may be relocating due to orders to seek employment with participating employers, as they often face challenges due to frequent job changes. The bill does not require localities to adopt the preference, but allows them to do so if they choose, and is supported by MML, MACO, the House Veterans Caucus, and the Maryland Military Coalition. In closing, I respectively request a favorable report on Senate Bill 872.
Thank you very much. Any questions about SB 872? Delegate Healy.
Is this identical to the bill as if it passed the House?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, thank you very much. I do not think we have a representative from Senator Waldstreicher's office, but we do have his cross-file, Professor Stewart, SB 436, Single Staircase Buildings Study.
I thought I was done. Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, members of the greatest group of humans ever compiled. My name is Vaughn Stewart, and this is a Senate bill that I cross-filed, and we already passed it, and the only difference is that Senator Waldstreicher added a few more fire-related professionals to the bill that should be part of the study, should be consulted as part of the study, and we're going to take those Senate amendments and conform and write it out. I urge a favorable report.
Thank you. Any questions on the bill? Okay, we will turn to SB 160. We don't have the sponsor, but we have the delegate who represents the adjacent district. Residential property, assignment of contracts of sale, disclosure requirements and rescission. This bill has no fiscal note and passed the House 137-0. Any questions? Okay, that concludes the bill hearing. Just in time for the sponsor to arrive. You're all set, Mr. Vice Chair. We got you. You're all done. Yep. Thanks for visiting. All right, that concludes the bill hearings for today. Just want to thank everybody for the work on the floor, even when we don't agree. I think at least the members of this committee were mostly agreeable, so I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry we all missed Blue Catfish Day. I know that's something we all look forward to every year, especially Delegate Jacobs, because he wants us to eat as many blue catfish as possible. So sorry about the timing. We'll try to do better next year. And we'll turn to subcommittee announcements. Vice Chair Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Natural Resources, let's meet at 6:10. We have one bill. We'll probably be about 30 to 45 minutes. Thank you.
Chair Healy.
We will meet immediately following that. I will say, if your half hour from 6:10 is 6:40, 6:45, we'll meet on Zoom for local government.
Chair Stein.
Mr. Chair. The Environment Subcommittee will be meeting tomorrow, excuse me, after bill hearings.
Chair Lewis.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Land Use and Ethics will meet 5 minutes after local government, so watch your texts and emails for updates.
Chair Stewart. Chair Stewart.
Technical difficulties.
Talk loud.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Any case, maybe tomorrow.
Tomorrow after bill hearings. Chair Holmes.
Yes, housing will probably be tomorrow, roughly around after bill hearings, tomorrow, HRP tomorrow.
All right, everybody good? All right, thank you all.
I'll see you.